humble practitioners. We're going to look at bridge today. Setu Bandha Sarvangasana. Say that 3 times fast. So, bridge pose. Many of you get taught to do a bridge rolling up and down the spine. We are not going to roll up and down the spine today. So let that just be new and different, alright? I'm not going to get into why and wherefore. Just try it this way. See what it does for you. At first it might just feel like, what? That's fine. We're going to use 2 blocks, and you might be using a blanket under your head. Why you might use a blanket, I'm going to exaggerate this. If I were to lie down, and when I lie down, my head has to do this to reach the floor, I want to lift the head up to put it in a better position. Now when I lie down, my chin goes up just a little and my neck starts to get tense. So I do use a blanket, but I don't use it a lot. I just do enough to take the tension out of my neck. But again, if my head was way back and I needed to, I would fold the blanket as high as I need to get my chin and forehead parallel to the ground. You might ask a person, a friend or a household partner to check and see, is your chin and forehead, is that line parallel to the ground? So that's one prop. The other prop is 2 blocks. 2. You could use a block and a towel rolled up too if you don't have 2 blocks, but you'll probably want at least 2 blocks. 2 things, how about that? 1 block goes between your feet, the other between your thighs. Notice how I have 1 narrow, 1 wide. If I put this one narrow, my knees are going to start to go out. Every once in a while I meet somebody for whom narrow and narrow works, but for me, as I start moving, my knees are going to go out. So I use 1 narrow, 1 wide. Okay. The next thing that might be different is most people teach bridge with the arms here. What I find is people go here, they press into their hands and their shoulders are up and tight. And like in prone, mountain, and cobra, we're trying to open the collarbones. So if you bend the arms at the elbows and press down through the upper part of your arm instead of the hands, you can see how the chest opens. I am not pinching my shoulders under. That just shortens the back of my body. I just want to take these shoulders, drop them to the floor, open the collarbones. So try not to pinch your shoulders together. That's also going to be really different. So just let this be a whole new pose, this bridge. Arms are bent at the elbows, fingers reaching up toward the ceiling. Block between your feet, block at your thighs, something under your head if you need it. Not everybody does. And we're going to press down across the shoulders, opening the collarbones. We want to think feet as close to the torso as your body allows. Now your ankles or your knees or your hips or even your back might tell you where to stop. Listen to them. The next thing I want you to notice is my back is not flat onto the floor. In fact, if this is what happens to you, I want you to artificially create that curve. Let the front of your pelvis come up off the floor. I want you to have a curve in the back of the waist, not between your shoulders, just at the back of the waist. So, everything's in place. Down across the shoulders, wide across the collarbones, fingers reaching toward the ceiling. Press down into your feet. We're just going to lift everything up at once. Pelvis, belly, ribs all come up together and they come back down. Now because I have a shoulder injury, this is about as high as I get because my shoulder is compromised. I can't go any higher than that. If you go higher than that, that's lovely. Go for it. You might not get this high, but you do want the whole torso to lift in one piece, not rolling. Keep the curve at the back of your waist, squeeze the block between your thighs, press down into your feet. My shins are going that way. My head is not. If you go up and your head's getting pulled, you need to start thinking about reaching your head and your knees away from each other. The next time you go up, I want you to stay up in the air. Press down across those shoulders, press down into your feet, reach your knees and your head away from each other, and come down. That's it, that's the pose. That's bridge. So, something under your head. Curve at the back of the waist. 2 blocks, narrow and wide. Arms bent, wide across the shoulders, feet as close as you're comfortable. And we're going to lift everything up all in one piece and come back down. It's your thighs doing the lifting, and you're squeezing the block at your thighs. Go up and down 3 or 4 times. Try and go up with your breath. Go up on one part of the breath, come down on the other. Perhaps you'll discover you like lifting on the inhale. Perhaps you'll discover you like lifting on the exhale. I don't really care today. I'd rather have you just notice what you do. But go up on one part of the breath, come down on the other. After about 5 of those, go up and hold. And then check and see. Wide across the shoulders, upper arms on the floor, feet on the floor, head and shins reaching away from each other, and come down. Just make sure when you hold the pose up there, you don't hold your breath. That is bridge the way we're doing it today. Give it a try. Let it be something new and different, and then just see how it feels. I will see you next week. We'll do something else.